Hazrat Sheeth's Prophet Sheeth in biblical tradition occupies a significant place in Islamic and Abrahamic traditions as a figure of spiritual wisdom, the third son of Hazrat Adam and Hazrat Hawa Eve. His story is one of both tragedy and divine grace, filled with deep emotional undercurrents that begin with a family torn apart by sorrow and end with the hope of renewal, the aftermath of tragedy. The tale of Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, begins in the aftermath of the devastating murder of Abel, one of Adam's two sons, by his jealous brother Cain. This fratricide caused unimaginable grief in the hearts of Adam and Hawa, as they were not only mourning the loss of Abel, the gentle and righteous son, but also the moral downfall of Qabil, who had succumbed to anger and envy. The first human family was fractured, and Adam's heart was heavy with sorrow. For years, Adam grieved over Abel's death, feeling the weight of his lost child and the straying of Qabil. It is said that Adam would often weep, asking Allah for mercy and guidance for humanity. In this time of despair, Allah showed compassion to Adam by blessing him with another son, Hazrat Sheeth, whose name means gift or granted, signifying that he was a gift of hope in Adam's time of grief. A divine gift from his birth, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, was destined for a great purpose. Adam raised him with special care, teaching him all the knowledge that had been revealed by Allah. He imparted to Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, not only the spiritual wisdom of creation, but also the understanding of nature, the heavens, and the earth. Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, became known for his devotion, wisdom, and piety, and Allah saw in him the qualities of a leader who could guide humanity back to righteousness. The love between Adam and Sheeth was profound. Hazrat Adam, who had known both the glory of paradise and the pain of earthly life, saw in Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, a reflection of hope and continuity. As Hazrat Adam, peace be upon him, neared the end of his life, he entrusted Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, with the responsibility of leading and guiding the human race. According to Islamic traditions, Sheeth was given 50 scrolls of divine revelation, providing the framework for moral living, justice, and worship. The burden of prophethood, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, carried the weight of his father's legacy, knowing the challenges that lay ahead. He had witnessed how easily humanity could be led astray through the actions of his own brother Qabil. Despite this, he remained steadfast in his mission to bring people back to the path of monotheism and righteousness. Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, is said to have introduced the concept of prayer and worship practices that help bind people closer to Allah. In addition to his spiritual role, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, is credited with bringing many essential skills to humanity. Some traditions say he was the first to introduce writing, a way to record knowledge, and that he shared wisdom in agriculture and other practical crafts. In this way, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, was not only a prophet of faith, but also a teacher of civilization, helping human beings evolve both spiritually and materially. Struggles and temptations, Sheeth's time as a prophet was not without its challenges. As humanity began to grow in number, some people fell prey to the same temptations that had caused Qabil's downfall: envy, greed, and desire. Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, faced the daunting task of keeping people on the righteous path in the face of these growing distractions. There are stories that Qabil's descendants lived in rebellion, choosing a life of indulgence and worldly pleasure, far removed from the teachings of Sheeth. Despite these difficulties, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, remained resolute. He reminded people of the consequences of turning away from Allah. Using the example of his own family's tragedy, the story of Qabil and Abel became a lesson in humility and faith, one that Sheeth would tell again and again as he tried to steer people toward righteousness. The passing of the torch as Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, grew older. He became aware that his time on earth was nearing its end. Before his passing, Allah directed him to pass on the message of prophethood to his son Enos or Anush in Islamic traditions. Hazrat Sheeth, following in his father's footsteps, did so with a heavy heart, but also with the satisfaction of knowing that the divine mission would continue. When Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, finally passed away, it is said that Adam and Hawa were laid to rest beside him. His death marked the end of an era, but also the beginning of a spiritual legacy that would endure through his descendants. Emotional depth. The story of Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, is filled with emotional resonance, grief, hope, responsibility, and faith. For Adam and Hawa, Sheeth was the embodiment of divine mercy after a heartbreaking loss. His life symbolized that even in the darkest moments of humanity's history, Allah's guidance and grace remained constant. Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, carried the pain of his family's suffering, but he turned that pain into a force for good, dedicating his life to the service of Allah and the well-being of humanity. In Islamic mystical traditions, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, is revered for his ability to transform sorrow into wisdom. This story reminds believers that challenges and trials are an inevitable part of life, but through faith one can emerge stronger and more devoted to the path of righteousness. In sum, Hazrat Sheeth, peace be upon him, stands as a beacon of hope and continuity in the early history of humankind. This story teaches that even in the wake of profound loss and moral decay, there is always the possibility of redemption and renewal through faith and divine guidance.